Hey, what is up, guys? This is D-Trezs riding here. This is the first time I've ever tried twitching live, so you know this is pretty dope. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, but I wish you could hear my friends on the Xbox Live Party right now because they're pretty trash. But sadly, you can't hear them. So if I start laughing halfway through the video, or I just start randomly ranting, it's because they can hear me, but you can't hear them, and I can hear them. So if I start flipping out, it's because of them, not you guys, because I can't hear you guys, obviously. But you know, whatever. You know, my most recent video for the Ford that I drove, a Ford Lotus thingy. Well, someone asked me to do a build on it instead of a jelly tune because, you know, I don't think the jelly tune's too useful, but you know, it's a fun car to drive, but jelly tune, it's actually quite hard to drift. So you know, this is the car right here. It's the Ford Lotus Cortina, or however you pronounce that, you know. But I think we're just gonna do a nice easy build on this. Nothing too hard. Alright. Yeah, but I really enjoyed this car, but since I jelly tuned the hell out of it, it's not my favorite car to drift in because it's extremely hard to drift when it's jelly tuned out like that. But you know, whatever.
Alright, dude.
Alright, so I think we're gonna start with upgrades. I'm gonna go to this engine swap because the engine that it has now isn't strong. I think we're gonna go. I think we're gonna go with the Turbo Rally. And then, no, definitely not four-wheel drive. We ain't drifting this thing four-wheel drive. Custom bumpers, let's go with this one. I mean, this is all preference here. You don't have to get these bumpers taken off or anything. Ooh, we gotta go for the. I normally go for sports tires. Not street tires are okay. Stock tires, no. I know a few people that run race tires, but I don't find them useful. Normally, I either leave stock tires or go with slightly wider tires just for that extra rubber, you know what I'm saying? But, you know, do you, boo-boo? I don't know if there's any good rims for this car. Those are okay, but I have those on everything, so, you know. Ooh, we're gonna make a weird looking car here. I think we're gonna go with these just because. Again, this you don't have to do anything that I'm doing. It's just, at least for customizable options like rims, all that kind of stuff. We're gonna go with, you have to upgrade these to full or at least close to full because this is how you get a really good tune in. If you have all the, like if you don't have, especially differential and stuff like that, if you don't have the differential or anything, then you can't tune it properly, and it just won't work right. You know, brakes, you can go with whatever, but you know, ooh, look at that bunny hop. We're gonna get this low and fast, low and slows for chumps. You know what I'm saying? You gotta go low and fast. Roll cage, no. Let's see. Do I want to get rid of all the weight? Let's go with that, sure. A-class is really good, but let's see. We'll go up to the edge of A-class. Yeah, okay, we're done upgrading for that. Then, basically, why do I go to Buying Fines? I'm crazy. I'm going to go to this. But obviously, paint, your preference. Do whatever you think looks good on this car. I mean, it's not my car, it's your car. I'm just gonna throw whatever I want on this. There's a mirror right there, why can't I paint it? Ooh, we're gonna go. We know those carbon fiber rims. Just kidding. I think we're actually gonna get the carbon fiber rims. They're normally darker than black anyways. And then tinted windows. Yeah, let's do that. Tinted windows don't matter to you. You can do bright purple for all I care. But that's pretty much it for upgrades. This is what I normally would do. You don't always want to go with the strongest engine because then sometimes it's uncontrollable. But sometimes, especially in the lower end cars, you're going to have to go with the engine that gives you the most potential. Yeah, this seems like a lot better than the jelly tune version I have of this. Oh, a lot better, much better than the jelly tune one. You can actually hold a line on this probably. What I can tell so far, it actually doesn't need too much of a tune on it. I mean, it could use a tune, but I don't think. I mean, pretty much straight out of the garage, this is running a pretty good tune. I mean, it's not like one of those cars where you pull it out of the garage and then you're trying to hold a nice line and then there's just nothing there for you. I mean, the gearing on this thing, it rips through the gears, so maybe lengthen a few of the gears, but I mean, it seems pretty good for the gearing right now, at least. So just tuning isn't always like, let's say that I put a tune on my car and I think, oh dude, this tune is definitely the best tune for this car, no doubt. This is the easiest thing to drift in my life. Like, I could say all that about the tune that I would make for this car, but I mean, honestly, it's all against preference. Like, maybe I like my tire pressure really high, or you like your tire pressure low, or I make third gear a little bit shorter so I can drift in fourth gear, or you make third gear a lot longer, or a little bit longer so you can just drift in third gear. I mean, literally, it's all up to preference. But I mean, if you feel that, you know, you could do better in fourth gear, then just try it. I mean, it's not like once you tune it, you can't go back. So basically just, it's all about trial and error when you're tuning cars, especially a lot faster cars, or cars that are a little bit harder to handle, because it's literally just, if you can hold a solid line, then you can hold a solid line, but sometimes it's either the tuning or just you gotta practice. Because don't expect to go straight out of the garage and then hold perfect lines with the car, because that's not, I mean, unless you're like extremely good at just adapting to whatever car you have, then that's good. But if you can't hold a line straight out of the garage, then just sit there, either practice or tune it to where you think it would do like, oh, it's spinning out a lot. Then maybe I should shorten the gears, or maybe I shouldn't accelerate so much around the corner. Like when you're going around a corner, you don't always want to be holding the accelerator down, because then it's either you could spin out or you're not gonna pick the corner right where the line is or anything. And I do not like gear banging, but I'm just trying to find a spot that I know real well. So I think we're just gonna run this and then tune it from here. I don't like to tune the car before I go onto the track, because then I don't know how the stock performance was. Because you never know. Sometimes stock is better, other times it's not. And I might be a little bit rusty at drifting right now, because I mean, I've been on vacation and I went on a missions trip, and then as soon as I came back for like a week, my Forza wasn't working, so I had to uninstall it and then reinstall the entire game because it just wasn't working for me. But I think I got the gist of the vehicle untuned, so I always put the tire pressure to like 40-ish. Like, wow, that's actually kind of perfect how we both stop at the same spot. But normally I put the tire pressure front and back to 40, between 40 and 45. I don't get too precise with it, it doesn't matter to me. But normally final drive I put up like 3 or 4, and then third I normally drop down 3 or 4, same thing pretty much. I mean, it's just, when you shorten third gear, fourth gear is a lot more stable. Camber, you can throw camber on it. I mean, you don't have to. Most of the time I just throw camber on for looks, but you don't have to. Rake for the ride height for the front. If you want to put a little bit of rake on it and lower the front and leave the rear high, you can, but you don't have to. Dampening. I mean, if you run a stiff car, then it doesn't ride right, and then you could spin out really easy because all the weight is being transferred through the tires. It's not going through the suspension at all. But like the other version of this car that I have, the jelly tuned one, you would make all this soft as ever, so that it gets the really bad lean and everything in it. But braking doesn't matter, balance it. If anything, actually, you could make it towards the rear, like not much, but a little bit. Differential, I normally take acceleration all the way up to 80 and deceleration all the way down to 70. If it doesn't work, you can either raise them or lower them. I mean, most of the time you just have to try it out and see how it is. Because if you lock up the differential, then it won't turn right, but then if you loosen it too much, the car won't be able to hold the drift that you want. That's bad. Alright, I think I'm getting a feel for this car and the game again. So, here we go. Man, I thought I was going to be able to do that. We're just gonna restart and see if we can do a clean one real quick. Man, get out of here, Supra. Oh, I swear, you ran me, you little punk. Ugh, I lost it. My bad. I thought the Supra was turning with, not against. Alright. But honestly, I do think this is a really good drifting car, and I'm from my experience, I haven't seen anyone besides me drift it. And I drift some really weird cars. I mean, I drift that Dodge pickup truck, the rally one. I don't know why, but it's just hilarious when you're getting up next to like Miatas or RX-7s, because when you're tandeming and you get really close with them, they're in a blind spot to where you can't even see them most of the time throughout the track. So it's literally, you just gotta rely on them to make the adjustments, the minor adjustments when you're in a tandem, because it just gets sketchy as ever. But this is running a really nice like longer drifts for like the long sweeping corners, but in the tighter corners, it's trying to spin out a little bit. So there's always to where you can tune the car, but then it might affect it in other areas. So what I normally do is just get a nice flat tune on there, just the basics, what I did, like the tire pressure, ride height, camber, and differential, and just get those basic things on there. And then if you feel that, oh, maybe this does need like a little bit more tire pressure, or I think the camber would help a corner a little bit better, or especially for shorter cars like this, if it's switching between drifts like really hard and it's hard to control, you're gonna wanna soften the sway bars a little bit, so there's a little bit more give in between each thing. Because if you have the sway bars like completely stiffed up and everything, it's gonna switch back so quick, and normally I can't even handle like semi-stiff sway bars. So if you're rocking too hard of Swift bars, then sway bars, not Swift bars. I'm sorry, I'm so just like done right now. But if you're rocking too hard of sway bars, then it's gonna switch back like this, like really hard, and then you're gonna spin out normally because it just throws it so hard. But overall, I do think this is a really nice looking car to drift in, because I don't know, I don't like drifting the same cars as everyone else. I just like to be that guy that's just like, is he really trying to drift that right now? And then normally, especially when I'm with random people, I'll normally grip the first two corners and they're like, oh man, this guy's not for serious at all. And then I'll normally throw it hard into the third or fourth corner and just get like right on their door the entire time, and they're like, oh, never mind, this guy may be able to drift. Sorry if this is a little bit boring, but I'm just trying to get used to this car. It's been a while since I played Forza, and normally I do this online, but I didn't want anybody like pestering me. But actually, it's a lot worse being on single player because of all the other cars racing near me. It's actually quite annoying for when they just completely ram you. So I mean, if you want to practice drifting, like this course that I'm running right now is actually a really good course to practice on. But if you want to just get the basics of drifting, I would say go on like online free roams, because there's a lot less traffic, and sometimes you can find that guy or girl that just helps you out with learning the basics. And they'll teach you like, for your car, oh, maybe you should shorten this gear, or lengthen this gear, or just like small little tips, that you can do, just to strengthen your drifting, basically. But I mean, drifting alone, especially on campaign, can be very frustrating, because as you can see, there's a lot of traffic, and just trying to bob and weave through traffic can be fun, but most of the time I find it kind of annoying, especially like right now, where my mind is in like 3 other places other than bobbing and weaving between traffic. So I mean, if you want to give yourself a challenge, go ahead and go into free roam, into campaign. But if you want to just like, if you just want to get like a good line going and a good drift, like find a course, start throwing down some lines or anything, I would definitely go to a really nice free roam to where there's maybe 1 or 2 people, or if you want to have some help, try and find a lobby with a bunch of people, and don't be afraid to ask. Don't be afraid to ask people, because you know, you might find that little 5-year-old a-hole that's like, yo man, you suck at drifting, what's wrong with you? And it, like, just trash talking you. And then, you know, most of the time they're either really good at drifting, or they're normally complete and utter trash, and even day 1 you can show them up if you have the confidence and the basic skill. But I mean, just don't be afraid to ask, because most of the time I just join an online session and I was like, yo, any drifters, meet me down at Nice or some other track that you guys know of. But most of the time when you join a session, you're gonna find people either at Nice, at the track I was just running, or there's gonna be people down at the docks. And normally if there's like 2 or 3 of them, they're normally drifting, because those are the 2 really hot drifting spots that people like to drift at, especially when people are just in a lobby just to find people to drift with. They normally hang around Nice because everyone knows the track at Nice. Everyone knows the track at Nice. Like, that's the first track you need to learn, because if you learn Nice, then everyone pretty much takes the same lines at Nice and the same path. So, like, for me, I know Nice like the back of my hand. I know all the different lines that people take, and I know how to adjust for each corner. So, especially when I get like a brand new car like this, and I just feel like, you know, trying out, like, oh yeah, tuning it, or just like seeing if it's even a good drifting car. I always just take my car here because I know this track, and it doesn't really take much effort to drift the track. So it's just an overall really nice track to learn, because everyone else knows it. Man, I keep spinning out. I'm sorry. I am not completely focused on this because I hear voices in my head right now. They're getting really annoying. So, shout out to Shockhead55. If you have an Xbox One and have extra time, please send him a message saying, "Love the new vacuum, bruh." Just make sure, if you feel like it, at least send him a message, please, because that would be fun. So initially, this video was supposed to be a drift build for this car here, which the beginning, but then it kind of turned into a complete and utter how to start drifting in this game for everything. But just, you know, get out there, get a car, tune it, and just start throwing down lines. I mean, that's all you gotta do. So just make sure you enjoy yourself and have a good time, okay? And this is me signing off.